Hey guys, welcome back to Michelle's Island Time Adventures, and I am here at Disney's Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. In this video, I'm going to talk about the most surprising thing about Disney's Hollywood Studios in 2021. So let's have a look. You'll see behind me, right there, is Disney's Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railway, one of the newest rides here at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So come join me for a little look at Hollywood Studios today.
Here is one of the most unusual things about Hollywood Studios in 2021, is that it is the most crowded park in Disney, at least in the first quarter of 2021, which isn't surprising given Galaxy's Edge. But it is surprising because typically Hollywood Studios has been a half-day park. And if you're wondering why I'm not wearing a face covering, I'm actually finishing my breakfast here. So I had the carrot cake cookie from the Trolley Car Cafe, which was actually quite good. I'm still drinking my coffee. I'm just finishing up my breakfast here before I get my day started. But it has typically been a half-day park. It has not been a full-day park. And now what I have seen as a trend in the past week since I've been here is that people are more frequently choosing Hollywood Studios as their first park, or if they are not park hopping, they're choosing it as their primary park. And as a result of that, the wait times are ridiculous here. And that's something also that we haven't typically seen in Walt Disney World for years and years and years. Oftentimes, because there was so little to do in Hollywood Studios, my family and I, when we were coming to Walt Disney World, sometimes we wouldn't even schedule a Hollywood Studios day, or maybe we would schedule it on a pool day where we'd come in the morning for a couple of hours to Hollywood Studios and then do the rest of the time at the pool. And now what I'm noticing more is not that Hollywood Studios is actually a full day park now, but it definitely has more things to do in this park. Now there are two primary rides which are absolutely fantastic that I would say that you cannot miss. One is Rise of the Resistance and Galaxy's Edge, which you do need to enter into the virtual queue. There's a virtual queue at 7 a.m. where you don't have to be in the park. I believe you do have to be on Disney property, however, to enter into that virtual queue. And then there's a second virtual queue at 1 p.m. Now you can only go into the ride once per day. You can't enter the queue twice in the day. I made that mistake yesterday where I went on the ride. I found it absolutely fantastic, and what I did was I waited to enter into the 1 p.m. queue, and they said I had reached my maximum for the day, which means you can only ride the ride once per day, even if you tried or attempt to get into the second virtual queue. I did it again this morning. Hollywood Studios was reserved for me this morning with my park pass, and I got into the first queue of the day. So I'm just waiting for my turn to get into the Rise of the Resistance. That is the first ride that you absolutely have to do in Disney's Hollywood Studios. The second ride is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Train. And that is absolutely a railway. I can't remember the exact name, which I will actually show you. But Runaway Railway, that's what it's called. And that too, just the technology of the ride itself is amazing. The visuals are just phenomenal. And if you look at it, really, those two rides from an Imagineering standpoint and a technological standpoint, it is absolutely mind-blowing how they did those. So I would say for those two rides alone, it is definitely worth it to come into Hollywood Studios, but do not be surprised in 2021 if you notice, because I entered not at rope drop, but pretty much close to rope drop. I entered into the park, I think it was like 9:01. By the time I entered, the wait times for most of the rides were already at 45 minutes. So that just shows you how many people are coming into the parks, especially Disney's Hollywood Studios. And you will notice when you're here in 2021 that the other Disney parks, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Disney's Animal Kingdom, will not have as high of wait times that early in the day. Usually, typically, you can get in early at rope drop, and for the first hour, you can ride like 3 or 4 rides. So that is the advantage of coming really early. But unfortunately, for Disney's Hollywood Studios in 2021, That's not happening. That is not happening. Like I said, I got in at 9:01. I immediately went to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and it was a 45-minute wait. So there you go. That is actually the most surprising thing of 2021 for Disney's Hollywood Studios, and I hope this gives you guys some perspective and maybe some advice on coming here. Definitely you have to wear a face covering everywhere. I am seated, I am eating and drinking, and I am socially distanced. I think there is nobody within, it's not even 6 feet, there's nobody within about 25 feet of me in all directions. So
As we walk through, I'm heading toward Galaxy's Edge, but you can see Indiana Jones. The stunt show is closed. Most of the shows are closed. The Frozen sing-along, or Frozen Ever After sing-along, is open. They are doing the sing-along shows. There isn't a lot in the way of different amenities and different attractions that are open in Walt Disney World. There's just a lot of things closed in early 2021. But we are going to go ahead and head into Galaxy's Edge. We are entering toward the entrance of Disney's Galaxy's Edge. And if you've been to Disney's Hollywood Studios before, you know this little area here, which is where Star Tours has been pretty much the entire time. And over there on the left side, you can see that that's where the Jedi training typically took place. That's something that's obviously not happening now in 2021. And you turn to the right after Star Tours, and you will have the opening of Galaxy's Edge, which I believe that the entrance to Galaxy's Edge is super cool. You have the store here, which is it's like the trading post in Disneyland. There's a little store there. A really huge line for the store though. On the right hand side we have Sci-Fi Cafe. And as we go through here, that at the far end, which you see is the actual entrance of Galaxy's Edge. The entrance of Galaxy's Edge here in Walt Disney World is really different from the entryway to Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland. It just seems more majestic here at Walt Disney World. And I feel like the fact is, here's the fact, the hardcore fact, guys. The fact is, Disney World just has more space. And as you're walking through Galaxy's Edge in Walt Disney World versus Disneyland, there's just a lot more space. And they had more space to build out rather than build up. In Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland, they had to build it multi-layered and they multi-tiered and they built up. So I don't know what the actual square footage is for Walt Disney World's Galaxy's Edge versus Disneyland's Galaxy's Edge, but I can definitely find out that information. It appears to be bigger, but it could be just that perspective. And this is us entering into the entryway of Galaxy's Edge as I await my reservation for Rise of the Resistance. And this is definitely the key attraction here, meaning the reason why the park is so crowded is because of this one key attraction called Rise of the Resistance. There's also Smuggler's Run, which is the other ride in the Millennium Falcon that people are also here for. So it's not just, see, that is the queue, but that's the queue once you've entered into the virtual queue and your boarding group has been called. And that's actually where it starts. So if you get into the virtual queue, you are notified that your boarding group has started, and this is where you would enter into that queue. You truly feel like you've entered into another world. And this is the planet Batu, which is not from Star Wars lore, but it is a made-up planet specifically for Disney Galaxy's Edge. And right here is where you will typically see, in 2021, you'll see the characters. Sometimes you'll see stormtroopers up there. Sometimes you'll see Rey and Chewie up there. Here's Rey and Chewie. Now my favorite is actually coming around the corner. The thing that always gets me the most is when Disney has life-sized or real-scale replicas of the vehicles, the ride vehicles that you have seen in the Star Wars movies. That totally, it blows me away every single time, and we're gonna see one of those in just a sec. Okay, it's this that is totally blowing me away every time I see it. I've seen Kylo's ship. Oh my god, and we have a stormtrooper coming out of it. Oh, we have more than one stormtrooper coming out. This is crazy. So Kylo's ship, honestly, is the one thing that just every single time I see it, it totally blows me away. And the fact that we have stormtroopers there today, like, that is above and beyond. I wonder if Kylo's coming. Oh my god. I can't even believe this. We have... You guys, I'm totally geeking out right now. Kylo is my favorite.
These people, I think, aren't even going.
We believe the resistance may be active here. Will you report first warning? Will you first warning? I understand your position. And we will call on you. Affirmative. On your way then. Goodbye. As a procedure would like a word. This way, please. Is this your life? I can see you have potential.
Joining Falcon, Smuggler's Run. Please stop at the next available marker.
Well, don't let us keep you, traveler.
Joining Falcon, Smuggler's Run. Please keep up with the flight crew in front of you in order to keep wait times down to its absolute minimum.
What are you doing with that?
I worship you, Supreme Leader, so I just need...
Are you transmitting to the resistance?
No.
Here we go. I want every channel on. No unauthorized transmissions.
Yeah.
Or not. Enjoy your day in the outpost.
Oh my god, this certainly was a treat. Not only did we get to see Kylo's ship, but we also got to see Kylo Ren and the stormtroopers. I'm totally geeking out right now. This is totally nuts. It's really, really, really crazy. My boarding group was just called for Rise of the Resistance, so I'm gonna go ahead and go on that ride. I hate to leave Kylo, but honestly, gotta get on that ride. All right, so here I am. I am in the actual line to get into the Rise of the Resistance. The line itself isn't terribly long once you're in, because when your boarding group is called, they know how to pace it. So I think the last time, it took about 10 to 15 minutes max, and most of that time was just walking through the actual queue itself. So it didn't have much to do with the wait time. It was just about the queue. Now the queue today seems to be moving a little bit slower, so we'll see how long it actually takes to get through the line to get onto the ride itself. Wow, riding the Rise of the Resistance was truly incredible. This is my second time on that ride, and I will tell you, first time totally blown away. Second time still totally blown away. So thank you for joining me on this mini adventure of Disney's Hollywood Studios. Please subscribe below if you're new to the channel. Click on that bell to scroll up to all for all notifications, and thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. I look forward to seeing you guys on my next adventure. I'll see you guys in the next video.